Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. Mark here from Labyrinth Studios, back again with another reaction video for you. Today we are looking at Bobby Hatfield of the Righteous Brothers fame, live on the Andy Williams show, performing Unchained Melody. If you're not consciously aware of this song, you will definitely have heard it before. It's been covered by many artists. Very famous song, beautiful song. So I'm excited to hear this and hear this solo performance. I have a feeling I may well have seen it before, yeah, somewhere on television or something when I was younger, or maybe even here on YouTube I came across it. It's certainly not fresh in my mind though. This was recommended to me by a commenter on one of my other react videos, so thank you to that person. Yeah, this should be an interesting one. Without further ado, let's get stuck into it. This is Bobby Hatfield, Unchained Melody, live on the Andy Williams show. Okay, yeah, I'm going to stop it there before I get too caught up in the performance. What a beautiful voice. I noticed kind of as this song first started and he first started singing, maybe there were a little bit of nerves there or something. His voice seemed to open up more after the first couple of phrases, and yet even with, you know, any potential nerves there or any little bit of holding back there might have been, still what an incredible voice. And he does have that kind of slight fragility to his voice. There's not necessarily any ego there in his voice. There is that humbleness and fragility and kind of almost a lack of ego in his vocal performance. It's just very natural, very humble, in the zone and in the element, especially, you know, as he starts to open up and starts to belt out some of those notes more. Yeah, it's really quite something, you know. I think these kind of singers are rare where it's so natural, but also very human. His vocal, I don't know what it is, his vocalizations or the tonality of his voice, it is just very human and very humbling. So yeah, beautiful stuff, and obviously a beautiful song. Just speaking from, you know, my sort of sound engineer perspective, I guess, I love the way things sound on these old TV shows with live music performances. Obviously this is just a vocal performance to a backing track. Yeah, the vocal sounds great here, and I don't know, I always find these old TV shows have a way of, there was a way a lot of them sounded, you know, going through from the old Grey Whistle Test to the Mama Cass show, Johnny Cash show, like all those kind of musical shows where things tended to sound less like a sort of, you know, mic'd up, amplified, like recorded performance, and much more as if you were just there in the room with them. And his vocal here just sounds very like as if you were just hearing him sing, even though he's holding the mic quite close to his mouth. There's no obvious proximity effect, and yet his vocal doesn't sound thin either. It's, you know, nice and full-bodied. Yeah, it just sounds great. So yeah, that's just, you know, from my sort of sound engineer perspective, I wanted to make note of that. But let's dive back into the performance.
I need your love. I need your love. Godspeed your love to me. I've hungered, hungered for your touch, lonely time. And time goes.
Yeah, so just touching on his vocal performance some more. It's nice that there's a very proficient display from him of his technical capabilities, and, you know, just great range, but sort of some level of vocal gymnastics going on there. I don't know quite how to describe it, but nice little flourishes and you know, kind of bending the notes and stuff going on, but not to the point where it detracts from the song and the core melody and the message of the song, the lyrics. And you know, it's a very earnest and thoughtful performance that's happening here, and he's not overdoing it. He's not letting that ego in wanting to display his technical ability get in the way of the performance of the song and what the song requires, because it is a sensitive, very beautiful, sweet song. You know, you don't want to be overdoing it with like vocal gymnastics all over the place, which is definitely something that, you know, I think we've seen more and more modern pop singers. Certainly, you know, I think from the 90s onwards, in the 90s, you know, we had a lot of people like Mariah Carey springs to mind, Celine Dion, singers like that, where, you know, their vocal prowess was certainly something that was well respected and celebrated, and rightfully so. But at the same time, you know, a lot of it became about the spectacle of how well they could sing, and at points was less about the music itself, which for me, you know, I think the two should go hand in hand. There's nothing wrong, obviously, with great technical ability, because that only serves to create great music, but it shouldn't end up eclipsing the music, essentially, which I think this is what this guy is so good at with his voice. He's not just a good vocalist, basically, like he's a good musician who knows how to utilize his voice in the right way for the music he's performing, which I think is the real difference between someone who's just a good singer and somebody who is an all-round great musician, which I certainly feel like this guy is. Let's dive back into the rest of the song. Yeah, great stuff.
Beautiful.
Well, as Andy Williams said himself, beautiful. And I think that's a perfect way to describe that performance. Right at the end there, even on that last final note, when he hits, you know, the really high note, kind of the way he finishes it, he doesn't, I felt like, you know, he could have sustained that note a little longer, but he ends almost a little abruptly, as if he's realizing there is that slight, you know, holding back, like he doesn't want to overdo it. I may be sort of reading into that too much and overthinking it, but that was kind of what I read from it. Yeah, I love that earnesty and that humbleness, and I like the way that he builds up in the choruses. It's only really until the final chorus that he really starts to go into the upper extension of his range and really show off the capability of his vocal range. So I like the fact that he builds that up. You know, he doesn't feel the need just to belt out, you know, all throughout the big moments in the song aka the choruses. He builds it up with each passage of the chorus throughout the song. He builds it up and up so that it has more impact as the song progresses, and it has a really nice finale. His kind of sense of meter as well, his phrasing, his vocal phrasing is really nice. It does kind of play a little around the meter of the song, but he's very good at sticking to it. It's in a way that like flows kind of naturally, so not quite that sort of Rat Pack style of singing where it's always like slightly behind or ahead for beat, but there's a little bit of dancing around there, which I liked, I appreciated. Overall, just a great performance, iconic performance really. Not much more to say than that, other than I really enjoyed it and I had fun watching that. So yeah, thank you to the person that recommended that to me once again, and I hope you enjoyed my reaction, all of you that are watching. And yeah, give the video a like if you enjoyed it, don't if you didn't, but I hope you did, and I hope you will like the video and subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. Hit the notifications bell to stay up to date with the videos that I'm putting out, and I will see you again in the next one.